What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Loud Bostonian. Today, I'll be doing my review of Joker. Joker is a DC Comics adaptation starring Joaquin Phoenix and directed by Todd Phillips. This film was absolutely 150% one of the biggest films of the year that I was most excited for. An origin story surrounding the most infamous character in comic book history is super intriguing to me. I love Batman. I think he is the absolute, hands-down greatest comic book character ever created. He has the best rogues gallery, and I just fucking loved this idea when it came out. I've obviously read comics. I've read The Killing Joke and all these other different adaptations that have, hinted at the Joker origin, under the Red Hood sort of mystery that they had in the comic world. But they've never really ironed out a true big screen adaptation of the Joker's origin stories. A lot of Batman movies do have his origin in it. At least the Batman movie in 1989 did. Joker in Dark Knight didn't really have an origin. He told you a whole bunch of them, and they were all made up and crazy. But this movie was absolutely on my top list of movies I wanted to see in 2019. And I got to tell you guys right off the bat, this fucking thing delivers. All the hype, believe it. It is that good. Joaquin Phoenix has never given a performance like this, in my opinion. I love Joaquin Phoenix. I've liked every movie he does. Walk the Line is one of my favorite, musical, I guess you call it a biopic, but yeah, I guess it's definitely a biopic. I love him in Walk the Line. I thought he was great. Loved him in Gladiator. So I was excited to see this. I know he's the kind of actor that immerses himself in characters. So seeing him immersed in the Joker was super intriguing to me. And the trailers were fantastic. But they really, in the trailers, hold back how dark this movie truly is. This is going to be a non-spoiler review, guys. I should have said that at the top. Apologies for that. But I'm just really going to give you the overall feels of the movie, the things that work really well for me without going into any plot details whatsoever. So the trailers will let you know that this movie is, right off the bat, super sad. It is a story of a man who has nothing and is a total... He's got mental issues, and everything in his life sucks so much that this world, this Gotham City that they have built, which is a fantastic Gotham City, by the way, guys, it truly feels like the worst place to live on the planet. So they really build this whole thing out, and this poor guy is just trying to get by and make something of himself, and the world just fucking keeps beating him down, and eventually he fucking snaps. There's a lot more to it in the movie, obviously, but it was just so good, and Joaquin Phoenix delivers this fucking performance. Every little thing in this movie, it seems like an actor choice. From the way that he, his body moves, and he lost 50 pounds for this movie, and it's disturbing how skinny he is. But yeah, he lost 50 pounds. The way his body moves, you can see it in the trailers. It's almost inhuman the way his body moves. It's really, really something. And he owns the screen. He's on the screen for 97% of this movie. There's only a few shots, not even scenes, shots that don't have Joaquin Phoenix in it. And I don't think an actor's ever really put on this kind of performance or had to dedicate themselves to a role the way this guy did for this movie. And it shows because he truly felt like Arthur Fleck or the Joker, the character. This movie is obviously heavily influenced by two Martin Scorsese films. That would be Taxi Driver and The King of Comedy. And that is absolutely present here. It's an homage to those films, but while creating its own DC universe kind of take on it. And it's really cool, man. Everything in it was good. You're kind of at the edge of your seat. And you find yourself in this movie, ultimately he's going to become the Joker, but I found myself halfway through this movie, not wanting him to. I just wanted it to work out for him, even though it's not going to. He's going to become the Joker. He's going to become this psychopath. And you know what? When it gets there and he does become the Joker, the psychotic killer that he becomes, I was glad he went there at the end. I mean, ultimately, you want him to be that character, so it's pretty cool. And like I said, this is not based in any true comic lore. It takes little bits and pieces of different things that have been talked about in Batman comics, Batman cartoons, Batman movies, that sort of thing. Kind of does its own hodgepodge of an origin story for this character. But it was really good, and it was really well drawn out, and you truly, truly see how fucked up this guy's mind is, and how sick he is. And I don't mean sick like he's a sick son of a bitch. I mean like this guy was sick and he needed help and he wasn't getting it, and it led him down this path. And you feel for the character as he's falling into this world of chaos that he is going to eventually love as the Joker. But I truly felt bad for him the whole time. And it's an experience, guys. It really is. A few things that I want to point out for sure are the score. For one, I'm not a guy that normally picks up on how good scores are. Like, I love music, and sure, there have been scores that I've been like, wow, that fucking song just makes me immediately think of that movie. Star Wars, Jurassic Park are probably my top tier. The Harry Potter movies, I love the score in that. It's simple, the Harry Potter one, but this movie's score is a beast of its own. Similar to Jaws, where that music kicks in and you know that something bad's going to happen as a result of the music. The music or the score in Joker is its own character. It literally shows you what's going on inside the head of this guy, even if his outside appearance isn't showing it. So it was ominous. I watched it with my friend Eric, and I turned to him after and said, hey, man, you think this score is pretty fucking good, right? Like this, it's really like, it's almost a part of the movie. It's a character in itself. And he agreed with me. He thought it was very good. And he's not one to point out scores either. So it's really something special, and it's alive, man. That score fucking moves through this movie like a snake, and it really depicts everything, all the turmoil going on inside Arthur Fleck's fucking head. So I love this movie. I thought it was so good. The Batman tie-in stuff that's in the movie is pretty good. Honestly, it kind of feels, this movie's set in 1981. You can tell that based on, there's a theater that very famous theater if you're a Batman fan, that has got some movies playing on it. And the movies that are playing are dated from the 1981 specifically. So if you want to Google the movies, it'll give you the year that it's supposed to be set. So they never officially say the year, but I mean, come on. Anyways, if it's set in 1981, it honestly feels like it's totally a precursor to the 1989 Batman now. There's characters playing the Waynes, the Thomas and Martha, and you get to see, there's a scene with Alfred in the movie that's pretty cool. You see a young Bruce for a few scenes, and I truly, I know that Joaquin Phoenix, this is a one and done for him. There's not going to be a Joker 2. He's not going to be the Joker for the Rob Pattinson Batman films, which honestly I don't know if it would make sense if it did. But the Rob Pattinson Batman movies are going to be set in the 90s, so there is that potential that young Bruce Wayne could grow into be Rob Pattinson. However, aside from that far-fetched theory, it actually feels like this could have, the way this movie's set up, could have grown right into the 1989 Batman. That's how it just felt that way. And I know it doesn't make any sense because young Bruce Wayne would never, Michael Keaton was way older than this Bruce Wayne was, but just the world they built feels kind of like that, feels kind of like the 1989 Batman film that Tim Burton created. So, I mean, not quite as comic booky or anything like that, but it truly, you feel that Gotham could have grown into the Tim Burton Gotham. So, but I friggin' love this movie, guys. Every last second of it. I want to know what you guys think of it if you've seen it. Obviously, it's dropping today, so a lot of you probably haven't seen it, but I recommend highly you run out and see it. Don't be afraid of the buzz. Like I said in my last video, guys, don't be afraid of going out to see this movie thinking that it's going to have a negative effect on any audience member that's going to go crazy or anything like that. It's just a good movie, and you guys are going to love it. So let me know what you think in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys next time. See ya.